we're going to start off straight in at the deep end. What is exercise referral? What really is important that we understand is that before we go into the nitty-gritty of all the conditions, we actually work out who we're going to be working with and why we're working with these particular types of people anyway. So exercise referral is quite literally a collaboration of both health and medical professionals alongside exercise professionals, that's you, and long-term treatment plans for clients and patients. So there are three parties in this. You've got the healthcare, the exercise professional, and the client or patient. Now, those three little people, those three people that are part of this whole process, basically form a relationship whereby information, goals get referred. People get to move on between all of these people so that they are able to improve their treatment plan, they're able to get the best service possible. So it is all about the client, and between both us as the Fit Pros and the healthcare or medical care professional, we can achieve great things in someone's long-term treatment plans. That's what we're after. Now, this is the book version of it. We're looking at a prevention and management of chronic health conditions for inactive people. Now, usually people that either have conditions or may need to prevent those conditions from arising. So it really settles alongside of being inactive. Obviously, in getting people more active, we are much more able to help prevent them from having conditions down the line. We're able to prevent side effects and symptoms from getting any worse. And we're also able to prevent them from increasing into further pathophysiology for things going wrong in the long term. So we're actually looking at both maintaining and preventing things from happening any worse than where they are at the moment. Now, sometimes exercise is used as part of someone's treatment plan. It might be a whole intervention whereby they haven't been using exercise at all, and just by them including a regular walk or a regular type of exercise session, that they're now able to really make a great big stance against their condition. So it's a full-on intervention. It might help them manage their condition and obviously, like we said, prevent them from deteriorating in their health or slow that down. That's what we're looking for in exercise referral. That's our goal. Our goal is not just a way of getting other clients. It's about how do we benefit these people that have specific conditions? How do we benefit their life? How do we promote their recovery? How do we prevent the condition from worsening? And how do we make sure that they are getting the best service that they can throughout? So how do we prevent, how do we promote, and how do we make sure we're serving them at the best possible way that we can? So I want to go through with you and talk about how exercise referral actually generally works. And I'm going to share with you three particular routes. They all evolve around the three people I was talking about: the healthcare professional, the exercise professional, and the client. Now we're going to look at the relationship of these three and how the relationship setup can differ. So I'm going to give you three different routes that you might go down. All have their benefits and cons, so we're going to have a little look at these now. So let's look at the first one on how exercise referral works. First of all, I just want you to ignore everything else on this screen apart from the three circles. So first of all, you have your client. Now your client is going to be someone that either has a condition or that has potential to end up with that condition, okay? Someone that has some sort of stressors building up in their life, starting to impact their health, their body, their mind, and starting to put them in a place whereby they are more at risk than our conventionally healthy client. Makes perfect sense, really, doesn't it? Now, the red box over here, the red circle, is our health and medical professional. This health and medical professional is somebody who works either in healthcare or in medicine that is able to refer either to us or accept referrals from us. Now, this could be the GP, definitely could be the GP. At the end of the day, the GP is in charge of the treatment plan for that client. It could be a specific specialist consultant, so a knee surgeon, for example. It could be a diabetic nurse, someone that gets to see that condition right up close and personal, someone that gets to work with that client for a little bit longer, or that patient for a little bit longer, and is a specialist in that area. It could be an osteopath, a physio, a neurophysio, a chiropractor, a podiatrist. It could be a chiropodist. It could be someone that helps create limb replacement limbs for people. It literally is a prosthesis technician, that would be, I'm guessing. So literally, what a really great task to do now, actually, guys, is just to pause this video here and write down a massive list of every kind of healthcare and medical professional you could possibly come across. The reason why I want you to do this and pause it is because it gives you this little black book of people that you can access, people you can talk to, that will help expand your availability, expand your relationships, expand your exercise referral network. So that's what this is all about. So pause it now, add to your list. So you should have added to your list. So you should now have a great big list of healthcare and medical professionals. And you've obviously got a good idea of who your client is. Now I can tell you exactly who that Fit Pro is. That is you. So a fitness professional, someone who is working in fitness, exercise, health, activity. That's what we're talking about. Someone who has the Exercise Referral Qualification. Now let's go in deep and look at route one. This is the potential way that your client is going to come to you and work alongside you. So client comes along, this is Mary. Mary's obese and got some knee pain. She goes along to her doctor or GP, and the GP says, wow, Mary, okay, if you really want to stop the pain in your knees, you've been taking medication for a little while in terms of painkillers or ibuprofen, and it doesn't seem to be helping, or it's helping a little bit. But if you really want to get some progress here, we really need to be looking at a weight loss intervention for you. We really need to be looking at helping you with your nutrition, your exercise, and your mindset, so you can really get results. It's a more of a holistic approach than just giving them more pills. So then this GP refers them to a scheme. Now you will have local schemes, and I'm going to tell you all about these in just a moment. And usually they are held by a scheme coordinator. So if the GP sends Mary's details, so Mary then confirms, yes, GP, that's okay, you send those details onto the scheme, I'm interested. Then the scheme, the GP sends the details to the scheme coordinator. And the coordinator receives them, has a look through, and checks that Mary is right for the scheme that they have in place, for the right type of program that they have on offer. So the scheme coordinator might phone up Mary or send her a letter and just say, Mary, we've got a perfect opening for you. You start at the gym Wednesday, 10 a.m. And all you need to do is just turn up and be ready. Make sure you bring a water and just wear clothes that you're able to do. And you're going to meet Sam. So Mary goes along and she meets up with Sam at the gym. So it goes, client goes to the GP. GP refers the details to the scheme coordinator. They get hold of the client and set a date for them to join in with the Fit Pro. Now, there is this is a really great route, but there is a few downsides and drawbacks to it. One is also the fact that we don't get this relationship with the GP. The GP never gets to hear about me as the Fit Pro, never gets to hear, I don't get to speak to that GP directly. I have to go via the scheme coordinator. So that's one area which isn't such a benefit, but it is a very official pathway. It means that it allows for funding to take place because this scheme might be funded. It allows for very official treatment plan process. And it definitely uses the authority of that GP or the authority of that consultant or healthcare professional to its maximum. The client, it goes to the GP and says, I need help. They're at a point whereby they're in massive pain and they haven't associated changing their exercise or nutrition as part of their treatment plan. All they've thought is, I'm in pain and I need help. I trust you, doctor, to do something that will help me. And that's when the doctor is able to start influencing them to take those first steps of exercise. It is a great way of pushing someone when they're at a higher point in their stage of readiness to change. So they might only be contemplating the thought that they might even go to the gym. They might be in pre-contemplation. I can't go to the gym. And I never even thought the gym would be good for me. But this allows them to kind of see the value and appreciate that, because they're using the authority of that GP to encourage that change in habits. Now, this could be a negative, it could be a positive, but this type of route often includes funding. Because it goes via the scheme coordinator, I'm going to talk about funding in just a moment, but because it goes via the scheme coordinator, it has a structure that allows it to be funded. So this is usually the type of structure that will work from a funded route. Now, the good side of this is that FitPros often are quite attracted at the start to a funded route, because they think, oh wow, I get clients for free and I get clients that don't have to pay anything. So that barrier of, oh, I can't afford it, goes right out the window. But the problem they have with fully funded from the council or fully funded from the local CCG and PCT is that the client hasn't committed. The client doesn't see the value in that service because they're attending for free. They don't have to put that commitment down. And it's basically going through a lot of studies that show that even with some payment, so like a partial funding, your client is much more likely to adhere and succeed than if they have it totally for free. So just think about that for a second. If your client, if you bought an ebook and you actually physically paid £10 for that ebook, you'd make damn sure you read it and make sure you went through every single part of it, because you valued it so much that you paid for it. Whereas if you downloaded a free ebook, you might never even read it. So what's really important here is you consider the value and whether that value is reflected in the client's commitment to your program. Now, another downside is that there's a lot of chain links here. A lot of places whereby paperwork can get lost, there could be time delays, it could be quite complex to manage. And these chain links are points whereby the client essentially can drop out because they're not working off immediacy. They're not working off the point whereby they can sign up, get moving straight away. They end up with time delay, which we all know it. If you delay for a moment, suddenly all these thoughts start to appear and they start to draw you away from that goal you had. And you end up back in the point whereby you're wondering about whether you should go at all, and the client ends up dropping out. So that's one downside. And also there potentially could be quite strict funding rules that restrict you as a FitPro as well. So this is kind of route one. I'm going to show you through and work with you on route two. Route two, look at this one. Looks even clearer. Looks nice and simple. I have to admit, this is my favourite. Absolutely my favourite. This is where Mary, your client, goes to the GP, same as she did earlier. Mary goes, oh, cool, I'm obese and I'm starting to get knee pains. Pops off to the GP. GP says to them, you know what, Mary, I know a really great FitPro that you need to speak to. They specialise in working with people like you that are in pain. Now, this is a real key point. That GP or that healthcare professional, that physio, the chiropractor, the podiatrist, whoever it is you've set up this agreement with, needs to tell them the right thing. Because if they say it's going to be really hard work, you're going to be slogging your guts out of the gym 5 days a week, and you get sweaty, you might have some pain, Mary ain't going to go. She's definitely not going to phone you. So it's really important that you prime that GP, that medical professional, to give the right information to Mary. Once the right information has been given to Mary, it might be in the form of an email that they've got to contact you on, a specific questionnaire they've got to fill in. It might just be a business card or a particular leaflet. Regardless, it's important that Mary then makes the decision to come to you as a FitPro and say, I've been recommended I get hold of you because Dr. X told me that I need to come and see you. I have obesity and I also have pains in my knees. They think it might be arthritis. Great. And then you go into your sales pitch and work with Mary from there. This is fantastic. It is one of my favorites ways around of doing it. Even better, depending on how you set things up, is whether the GP will then reach out to you as a Fit Pro. Now, in order for that to happen, that would go Mary to GP, and then GP say, I will pass your details on to Sally. She is an excellent Fit Pro. Now, that's fine. That's really, really great, but you need to have a certain level of commitment from that GP. So it totally and utterly depends on how strong a relationship you can build with that healthcare professional. So both of those work brilliantly. One of the most important part of this is that it uses the authority of that healthcare professional maximally again. They are going to the GP with a pain, GP offers a solution, the solution is you. The other good thing is that here, because you have a specific relationship with that healthcare professional, you have a relationship whereby your results increase that relationship. They improve your likelihood of referral. If you get great results and you go back to the GP and send a letter to that GP and say, Mary done fantastically, this is the results we've had in the last 4 weeks. And the GP says, wow, okay, I'm going to send more people there. This really works. That strengthens your relationship. It strengthens that bond and you're going to get more referrals. Fantastic. It's a quick pathway. There's less parts that the client might get lost on. And also I love this because the client is in control. The client now has the choice to get hold of you. And that means they're committed. That means they're going to commit and they're going to value your service. It allows you to personalize and have specialisms in your business. So if you've got a specific back pain boot camp, for want of a better word, or you've got a health walk for high blood pressure, or you do a what else could we have? An 8-week package for diabetes, then you've literally got these personalized niche services that your GP can refer your clients straight into. And I think that's great. It really sets you apart, sets you straight up as a specialist. Now, what we said on the last one was that if your client pays privately, they are more likely to commit, get results, and adhere to your program. That's the type of client you want all day long, rather than the people that aren't going to turn up. So I think it's a benefit that here, in this scenario, your client will pay privately. If you wanted to, you could set up a particular offer whereby anyone that comes via your GP or your particular affiliate network gets a little bit of a discount. And that's pretty awesome. That's a really cool way of doing it because the client feels, oh, I've done the right route there. And the GP feels like they're benefiting people. They're not sending them straight into a high-end package. So it is a really nice way of making sure that you're, as a client, that they're able to access into you and get the most out of their program. Cool. Okay, so that's route 1 and route 2 done. What's your favorite so far? What are we thinking? Well, you know what one my favorite is. So this one's route 1, this one's route 2. Route 2, definitely my favorite so far. So let's go and have a look at route 3. Route 3 is more like your traditional system whereby you're working with your clients. So this one is like you would attract any client to your business. So you go out there, you put your marketing out and you go, I'm looking for 8 women that want to lose weight from their thighs and their waist in the Milton Keynes area. You put that marketing out there and then you attract Mary. Mary fills in your form or gives you a ring and says, hi, I really would like to lose some weight. I've seen your advert and I'm interested. You go, okay, that's great. We're going to sit down, do a PARQ or fill in this form online, however it is that you want to do it. And you realise that Mary's got conditions. Now you can't just work with her because she fails a PARQ. So now we've got to refer to the GP. This is her GP, by the way, not the people that we've set up affiliate deals with. We refer to the GP And we're going to just ask the GP to complete a letter. Now, this letter I'm going to copy in the actual links for underneath the video. So you're going to be able to access these letters so that you can really see, copy them, put your logo at the top, whatever you need to do. They can be yours. And this letter needs to include all the details that you have for Mary, just to check that it's okay that she exercises and okay that she does what you have planned for her. Really, really important that you kind of roughly say what it's going to include, because obviously doing a health walk is very different from asking whether she can spend half hour in a sauna and then do 3 Zumba classes back to back. Okay? Very, very different. So it's about making sure that the healthcare professional, the GP, knows what they're signing off as well. You will then get a stamp, maybe a written sign off on your form, and then that's posted back to you, and then you're safe to work with Mary. So this is a really good way of working, because again, it's about getting results with your and your relationship with your GP will strengthen based on the results you get, which then will create more referrals via route 2 that we spoke about just a moment ago. So route 2 and 3 work really well together. The other side of this is that it's a quick pathway. Mary accesses you first. She is straight to you, which means that she already values your service. She's asking for your help, and you're seen at a much higher level. But it doesn't use the GP's authority. So it doesn't use the authority that a GP does have. Now, another downside to this is that you've got to do your own marketing. You've got to pay for your own marketing in this kind of situation, which obviously could be a downside. It could be an absolute plus, because then you get to choose who you work with. You get to say, I just want Mary's, or I just want clients with back pain, or I just want to work with people with high blood pressure that are stressed out at work, or I just want to work with people that are on recreational drugs. Whatever it is that you decide you want to work with, you can call that person out and you can really maximally help them. So I love that, because you can personalize your services, and it really is awesome at being a specialist. So yeah, the only problem is that it doesn't use the authority of the GP. But one strength of that is that if that client hasn't had a good track record with the NHS, for example, or with their GP, they might not be looking for something that GP necessarily endorses. They might be now on their own pathway. So yeah, there are massive strengths to this route as well. So route 2 and 3 are definitely my favorite. I would work with both of them alongside, but definitely there is place for route 1. So make sure you're aware of all 3 when you're starting to get started. So just have a think now, in relation to your business, in relation to you as a fit pro, starting to make your way through your career, what would work best for you as a priority to set up? Do you need to set up some particular relationships with GPs? Do you need to go in there and set up some relationships with GPs, healthcare professionals, maybe get a little black book full of all these healthcare and medical professionals that you can refer people to, or that people that can refer to you? Maybe it'll work both ways. What do you need to do to now get this to work for you in your business, or work for you as a PT, or work for you as a fitness instructor or an exercise to music instructor? How does it work for you, and what is your next steps? Let's have a look. Funding first. Funding is obviously the big question. I've kind of said about this already. There are downsides, there are upsides. Downsides, we've said about the limited client commitment. We've said that it restricts your service. Quite often you have a lot of paperwork to do. And also, although you're getting good, reliable payment per client that you service, it's certainly not going to be anywhere near your £50 an hour, your £30 an hour. It's usually quite restricted. So just because it's funding sounds good, it doesn't necessarily mean it is. And it's not always as reliable as actually going out there and getting your own clients. So if you know how to get clients, you can continue to do that. Whereas if the funding is suddenly pulled, or they have a different person tender for it, then before you know it, you've lost your stream of clients, and now you've got to work out how to get them. So be very cautious of just relying on funding only. So let's have a look at the other upsides for funding, and that's that the clients are provided to you directly. So you become part of their treatment plan. And by being part of someone's treatment plan, you obviously have an element of respect. And this works quite well for people's significance in particular. If as a Fit Pro, you are working alongside GPs, healthcare professionals, it can make you feel really respected. And that is certainly not a bad thing, it's a great thing. And that can boost your confidence and make you feel pretty good about yourself. So it's a really good place for a lot of people. But remember, it all comes down to what do you want to achieve out of your exercise referral setup. Now I've got these three little acronyms right at the very top left of your screen. The first one is PCT. This is the Primary Care Trust. This is what we know of as the NHS, for want of a better word. The Primary Care Trust is the overall national setup which is behind all of our health service, all of our care. Now, up until recently, that was in charge of all of the exercise referral, all of the commissioning for NHS. However, recently they've split that down into local pockets. Now, this is really good for you as individuals or small business owners because it allows you to start making yourself present and making yourself part of someone's treatment plan, even though you're only working on a one-to-one scale or a small scale. Now, this little small pocket is called a clinical commissioning group, and you will have a local CCG. That's your clinical commissioning group, CCG. Now, that local group is responsible for all of the commissioning, all of the clinical commissioning that happens out of your local area. So they will be in charge of everything from how much money is spent on cancer treatments to how much money is put on child daycare in hospitals. It literally is everything. It also comes down to how many exercise referral schemes there are and what those schemes service. Now, your local CCG will have reports, will have statements that say what they are currently offering. They might have programs for obesity for nutrition, but they might not have programs for arthritis for nutrition. Okay, so you can start working out what do they actually have available. And if they've got these certain gaps in what they're looking at, that's where you as an individual can start to fill those gaps. Now, there are particular ways of doing that, and there are two options on how you go forward from here. So if you look to the right hand side of the screen, it says where to go. First option is to source your local exercise referral scheme. Just Google it, so Milton Keynes exercise referral scheme, and it will say where your local one is. Collaborate, meet them, find out what's going on, find out if you can work with them on any kind of scale, and work out how they operate. It might be that they go, oh, actually, I've been looking for a Pilates instructor to come in once a week. That would be fantastic. Or I've been looking for an aqua teacher, or I've been looking for someone that's actually a PT that will specialise in lower back pain. Can I send people to you? Yes, of course you can. So it's about making sure that you're using all of your connections wherever you can. Don't see them as a competition. See them as people you can work with, regardless of your setup. This might mean that you get hold of their funding too. It might just mean that they give you some clients from a repeat point of view. That's cool too. Now, option B, I would do this as well as option A, to be honest, is to go to your local commissioning group. Now, first of all, type your local area and the word CCG into Google. You will find their local CCG website. That will tell you what their latest report is and also what they are offering right now. You may have to dig a little bit deeper and go and actually watch one of these CCG meetings. That's okay, that's cool. These CCG meetings are basically held up of surgeons, local GPs, surgery managers. These are great people to start connecting with, regardless of whether you end up with funding or not. Connect with your CCG, network, meet them, tell them your interest, tell them your mission, and that's where you can, once you've got friendly with them and you start to find out where these gaps in the services are, that's where you're able to apply for funding via their local rules. That's where you're able to kind of contender for that position, able to work alongside. Now, if you go through all of those steps and you find out that funding isn't for you, there's a lot of paperwork to fill in, blah, 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 then that's cool too, because you've just set up a massive connection network, and that's worth 10 of funding in my eyes. So be really, really clear on what you want to achieve from it. But there's nothing wrong with building relationships with people. It will help you every single time. My background is definitely exercise referral, in case you haven't guessed in all of this. About 5 years ago or so, I set up, probably more than that now, 6 years ago, I set up an exercise referral scheme in Milton Keynes. I set up a particular avenue whereby I could access a full retirement village to work alongside me in the gym, start getting them fit and healthy. And obviously most retired people are starting to clock up a few conditions, so it was logical to turn this into a scheme. I started working with the CCG. I started meeting up with GPs. I would write to them, I would send reports to them, I would talk to them, and it done wonders for my local reputation as being the person to send people to, particularly in my field, which was post-stroke, disability and amputations, so, and also lower back pain. So these guys were able to sort of come to me and work with me in a safe environment, and that really is that sort of clinical route that I specialise in and really want to work with. Now, you'll be able to do the same with your clients just by building up networking, regardless of whether you access the funding or not. Definitely one to do. Now, let's have a look at these other ways, all these routes that you've got. How are you going to go and get these clients? This is the question. This is the one. How do I go and get exercise referral clients? You can do the funded route, which remember was route 1. You might go down the affiliate relationship route. Now, these are a few ideas to kind of get you moving and get you thinking about it. Are you going to give healthcare professionals a couple of free sessions? Oh, this one works well. This one's really cool. Got a GP that embraces fitness and health, and offer out a few free sessions or a little free mini package whereby you can help them transform their own health. Once they value you and see the results you get, they're going to want to refer. Obviously, it's only works if you can get results. I'm guessing you can because you're an awesome fit bro. Now, the other part of this is a funnel. You can use your affiliate relationship to funnel them into a free class or health walk. This one's fab. I used to do this one. I used to set up with local surgeries, pop some posters in the surgery waiting rooms, talk to the GPs, that type of thing. Just say, I'm running a free health walk every Wednesday, 2 p.m. from outside the surgery. And they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. We'll send people there. That's fine. So I would invite people along. GPs would invite people along. We'd encourage people to come along for free. Obviously, they fill in a PARQ. We get them stamped, get them approved. And we'd gradually build up that health walk over time, build up their confidence, make them feel empowered by exercise again, talk about nutrition, talk about health, talk about anything with other people, so they have that whole social aspect. And before you know it, they're ready to now work up through my product offering, work into group-based exercise, work into semi-private personal training, one-to-one personal training, packages, elite level recurring payments. Whatever that client falls into, it's great even just getting them at the free level whilst you build their confidence that they can do this. Other ways that work really well for affiliate is to have a little black book of people that you really respect. Say a couple of physios, an osteopath, that type of thing. Set up a deal whereby you refer people to them, they refer people to you, both singing from the same hymn sheet. Perfect. Everyone works perfect. Everyone benefits, and everybody gets that private referral fee across. You could do this with a little kickback, a little referral kickback if you want to, or it could just be done on understanding that you send people to each other. You can use it like free marketing, whereby all you have to do is build in that relationship, build on how you trust, know, like, and trust your affiliates, your GPs, your healthcare professionals, and then from there, they're going to refer more people to you. So instead of seeing it as free, see that you pay them with the power of the relationship you give them. So how can you add more value to them in a way that they will want to refer to you? That's a nice way of looking at things. One last thing for an affiliate relationship is about surgeries in particular. Little GP surgeries often have public awareness groups, that allow the public to speak about areas of service that they want to see improved, or areas that they feel are going really well. It's basically an evaluations group, an awareness group. Use this to your advantage because you can go in as a member of the public and talk about services that can be offered. You can start pitching your service, and if you do, just pitch it in a way that helps the surgery, but in doing so helps you, rather than feeling like you're going in there to pitch something whereby you're taking and taking. Next one that works is collaboration. This really does work. Because I specialised in stroke, I set up with a local stroke awareness group, and I used to go in and do seated exercise classes for these guys, and they would pay for the class, and that money would go straight back into the charity to help other people. And then again, like with the free health walk, I would then start moving them up through my funnel to the point that they would end up on PT packages, joining the gym, etc. So charities are a really great way of working with a pool of clients that's your ideal client. Nice, okay. Now, if that's not a lot of ideas for going to get clients, I don't know what is. So get your skates on, start running, start thinking about what you need to do to get clients. How are we going to build up these relationships?